Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused how I feel about this week, to be honest, because we are Juventus and we are afraid of not winning against Venezia. It's insane. So let's see how this week goes, or weekend.
Outside of football, pretty good, but yeah, I agree with Norbert here, man. It's like there was a one point where we weren't afraid to, beat the top teams in the league, and now we're afraid to
Yeah.
verse a relegation side. So
I have no idea. I just checked, and yeah, you have no sound in YouTube.
See the mic. Wait,
I
is
think
it
I think it's working on my side, on my end.
is it
Well,
okay
oh,
now?
there
That's
you
weird.
go. Yes, I think I hear you now.
That's weird.
Yeah, now it's good.
Anyway, my intro was pointless. What I was trying to say was yesterday. Um, yesterday I felt worse because I don't know if anyone watched the final between Tottenham and Man U. It was bad, really quickly. It was really really bad quality wise. However, I was thinking about this week about playing Venezia, and we can end up playing Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. That's at stake on Sunday. We can get any of those, and how sad it is. Whatever we're gonna get is what we deserve. That's like final
Yeah.
match day. If everything is at stake and you get one of the three, it's because you deserve getting one of those three. Like it's as simple as that. I don't want to be in the Conference League. I don't want to be in the Europa League. However, I want this club to see. I want this club to win again. No matter, like, I just want to see us win, whatever it is. And I was thinking about it, and I dismissed things in the past, and I was like, I'm in no position to dismiss those things right now. Based on history, I am. We're all like Europa League, Conference League, really. Even though we won the Europa Cup in the past, with actually with great squads if you look it up, or like with talented squads as well, but the rules were different. To qualify for Champions League, it wasn't that everybody could join the Champions League at the time, so it's still a bit different. But I was sitting there and I was like, whatever we're gonna get on Sunday, I want to win it, because I was looking at those at the team, and I was thinking about it, and that's why the title is De Bruyne, and we will talk about it. um, we don't have winners in the squad. I don't like whatever we're gonna win. Even if it's a Viareggio Cup, which is not possible, which doesn't even exist anymore. However,
Mm.
we don't have winners in the squad. I was going through the squad, and even though some of them won, it's a Coppa Italia, but it's not the big stage. Even though Europa League is not the Champions League, it's still on the big stage. Everybody's watching. The feeling is different for the players. So I was watching that game, and I was like, man, these are two horrible, horrible teams. Like they're worse than us. Like that, they are worse than us. We are bad, but we will beat
They are.
any of those teams. And like I'm 100% convinced about that. That we will beat any of those two teams. But they, like Tottenham, for example, because that's also a debate. They're 17th in the league, but they're having a better season, to be honest. At the end of the day, like 20 years from now, nobody's gonna remember Tottenham finished 17th
Yeah.
unless you're really salty. You're just gonna remember they won the Europa League, and we have been in the Europa League in the past, and we've not won it. We failed to win it under Allegri with Sevilla, under Conte, Benfica, in our own stadium. We could have played it. Like we failed to win those trophies. So right now, my mindset going into Sunday is, if we don't get Champions League, obviously I will be pissed because it's an epic failure. But going into next season, whatever we're gonna get, and I don't want to sit there on Thursday. I'm not like jumping and excited to sit there on Thursday and watch us play Karabakh away at 7 p.m. over here. You know, oh no, earlier kickoff because it's Kazakhstan, so it's a 5 p.m. kickoff over here. Whatever. I'm not looking forward to it, but if we're in it, I want to win it. These players need to know what winning is again because we are so far of that right now. When I look through that squad, I'm like, nobody really knows what winning is. You know, like Locatelli won, McKennie won, I guess. McKennie, Locatelli won. I don't know who else won. Usually it should be popping like it's Juve, man. Half the squad or 70% of the squad won. Right now like Locatelli and McKennie. That's the two names that come to mind really quickly. Maybe they're the only ones who won. I'm not even sure. Probably Pinsoglio, but I don't count him. You know, whatever. You know, so that's on the line on Sunday. So I'm really nervous, but my question is, Norbert, because it's a possibility that on Sunday we finished fifth, sixth, like whatever. How, like, forget about not getting Champions League, let that alone for a second. But whatever we get on Sunday, how is your mindset? Like, how was your, you know, idea? How do you look at it? You know, going into next season, we play Conference League or Europa League, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How are you looking?
Yeah, obviously it's
to
not. Yeah, it's not ideal. But we can give some love to small teams, and the mighty big Juventus can visit amazing countries like Bulgaria, Hungary, and Estonia and all that stuff. So they're gonna be excited. But other than that, yeah, these teams in these cups are really bad usually, and if we get in, we need to win. I would be really really bummed because Champions League is Champions League, and I miss the anthem. Before, like this year, I was really missing the anthem of the Champions League, and because I don't know, when I was a kid, like the anthem came, and I was so excited, and it's still with me a little bit. Yeah, if we're in it, we need to win it. And I will watch it. I'm watching this team no matter where we played, how we played, since 31 years now. So this will not change, and I will wait. I will be excited for these games, because Juventus plays, and I want to see my Juventus. And yeah, but yeah, Champions League. I need Champions League in my life.
Yep. I think everybody needs Champions League in their life.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's sad to see where we've fallen. But I agree with Norbit, man. Like, I'm gonna watch it no matter what. Maybe the time will be a little bit better for me in America. Um, but
probably.
you know, it has there's two sides to the sword, kind of. Champions League, it's lucrative for players, for transfers, is what we were talking about before, and it's lucrative for experience. You know what I mean? Like these players are getting experience versus the best team versus the highest stage, the highest pressure. Everything. But then again, if you play Conference League, you might or Europa League, it might be an opportunity for some younger players to develop and get that experience. But obviously, nobody wants the Europa League. Everybody wants the Champions League. So it would honestly be more of a cultural loss than financial or anything else. It'd be kind of
yeah.
more in that realm.
Mm.
I
Your
I
sound
think
is
you
gone again.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think you lost your sound again.
Uh, Yeah.
I can hear Norbit and myself.
Yeah.
I can hear you through here, through the
Yeah.
VOD.
I have no idea what YouTube is doing because I can see my sound bar going off. So I don't know what it is, but I will repeat the question because it
Now
showed
it's
There you
me.
good.
go.
Yeah, I
Now
have
it's
no
good.
idea what it
Yeah.
is. Don't you think this team will benefit from just winning? No matter what it is, just win anything right now. Because when I look at that squad and I watch them week in, week out, we all watch them week in, week out, by the way, not just me, obviously. I don't see a winner out there. I just see 11 or whatever, 15 players we use during a game just being there because well they need to be there. They're being paid. I don't see any fight, and that is my issue. So my point was going towards if we finish fifth or sixth on Sunday is because we deserved it over 38 game. Like it's the table is not lying. It's not
Yeah.
lying. And actually Roma, it feels I think everybody has a feeling, right, that Roma deserves it more than us right now. Like the feeling. I'm
Yeah.
not saying points wise we have more points. So well, whoever has more points, they deserve it, I guess. But the feeling for me is like Roma deserve it, because look at how they are playing and look at how we are playing. So that was what my thinking, because I was watching that game yesterday and I saw the celebrations and whatever, and I know people like dismiss it and whatever, but when I remember when we were in it with Sevilla, we wanted I was on I wanted to win it. A lot of fans wanted to, like, you're in it semi-final. I remember with Conte that season, we all wanted to win that. We came from nothing, and Gio, I'll bring you in a second. It's a bit messy over here. But with the Conte season, I remember going. That was the second year we got into Europe, right? Well, that was the second season. Sorry, because no, it was the third season, right? Because we won, we went into the Champions League and we made it out of the
Yeah.
group, right? And then the second season was when we went out to Galatasaray and then we went into the Europa League. So it was the third season
Yeah.
of Conte, the second season of in Europe, but we all wanted to win. That I remember that vividly. When we were knocked out against Benfica, like it did hurt. But at the time, look
Yeah.
look at our situation at that time, and now we won 2 titles, and we were still okay with winning the Europa League. We still wanted to win it, even though we won 2 titles, and we're on pace to win the third one. Because we had dire years before that, from 2006 up to, was it 2011? It was only six. The same, excuse me, time frame we have right now, almost, right, 5-6 seasons. So I'm going back to it. I'm like, that feeling is like we won 9 in a row, but we are not that squad. We are not that club at this moment in time. We're far away, removed from that. We need to go step by step. I think we all need. Me myself, I need, and I think I am right now. We need to be realistic, step by step. I cannot think like we won 9. Like I can think about it. I want to go back to those times. So I have certain standards, but I understand that we cannot go from winning the title, get into the Champions League final, and compete again at the highest level in a time span of 1 year. It's not possible because it wasn't even possible back then, and we had a better squad back then. Like that midfield was insane. We are so far off from that. So that was my mindset about it. But Norbert, do you agree that we need to go step by step? Or like accept certain things you'll probably not accept in year 3 if you're competing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. The most important is to win domestically. And obviously, our dream is to win the Champions League, which didn't happen in 2020. What is it, 9 years at this point? But yeah, first let me win that Scudetto, man. Like we really need to get back, and I really don't care about Europe too much at this point. Let get some experience, and not and maybe not to lose against Maccabi Haifa and all these teams, please, because that's embarrassing. But other than that, I don't care about Europe at this moment. It can be any of those cups, obviously Champions League where we talked about it. But yeah, let's win home. Let's win at home. Let's have a domestic league win again, because yeah, this drought is way too long at this point. Yeah, 6th year I think, which is crazy. And I know one coach who can win domestically and can't really win, in Europe, and we might get him. So that would be nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think it all starts domestically anyway. Like you can't name me a team that goes into the UCL that's not fighting domestically. You know what I mean? You can look at United and Tottenham this season. They are not fighting domestically, but they made it to the Europa League final, which is like, I guess that's like proves my point the other way. But it stems from a good domestic, like you got to be strong domestically before you push into Europe. So we were at the top of the totem pole domestically and in Europe, and we've fallen back to where we need to recycle back to being domestic champions again. And that's where we are. So when the players get their domestic experience, they'll bring that to Europe, and then they'll keep going with that.
Gio is in the house.
Yeah, Gio, you can.
You,
People should be able to hear you.
Yep.
What do you think? Like, how far are we? Are you prepared to go step by step?
Listen, we gotta focus on the league domestically. Europe is a dream. It's not a reality at the moment. Let's all focus on the Serie A. I want to win the Scudetto again. It's been too long. We need to build a strong team. We need to be in that type of. We need to bring that mentality back. And there's only one coach at the moment that I'm thinking of that could bring that back to Juventus. But we have to take it step by step. First, the league. Create a strong team for the next seasons to come, and then we challenge for the Champions League and so forth. Because we don't want to make the same mistakes like we've been doing. And we also need to, I would say for this market coming up as well, make sure we spend our money wisely. We don't want to make the same big purchases, and then all of a sudden we're going to get a lot of the flops that we got this season. And I'm hoping that whoever comes in, because I know in terms of the management, it's going to be different in terms of who's going to be leaving, who's going to be coming in. So I'm hoping that they can make an impact, and not just that, with as a whole, as a club, impact for sure, man. I'm just hoping that this Juventus could, have that idea and that plan to go step by step, because we can't be just shooting for the stars and then just like believing that we could win everything in just like one season after we just gone through this season like how we did. So yeah, no, first next season, the objective Scudetto, compete. You must compete for the Scudetto. There's no more excuses, and there's no more excuses for the hierarchy either, in my opinion.
If it's a quick side question, if let's say it is Conte, because I think right now that's the only option out there. I don't see. I mean, for a new coach, other than Tudor saying, let's say it's Conte. You don't need to go into depth, because if he actually will be announced, we will talk about it more. But how realistic is it for him to win again? Because he's probably going to win tomorrow. If they beat Cagliari, and they should be beating Cagliari at home, they're winning the title. I was looking at it today, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, he just revived some of the players who actually won the title 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He just brought them to life again, and they kind of died for a season, because I believe they won the title for the first time, I don't know, what was it at the time, 30 years or something, and they took a season off. It was just, we've done it, and he kind of revived those players, and obviously he squeezed everything possible out of, I think, a very mediocre squad talent-wise. And paired with that, Inter are just bottling this season. Like, like it is what it is. That Inter squad should not be losing out on a title to this Napoli squad. That's still a fact. So I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, and I was like, how realistic is it for Conte to come in and squeeze that out of this squad again? Let's say we don't make Champions League and you don't get the many additions you need, and the squad kind of is what it is right now. How realistic is in Orbit that he gets the Napoli thing out of that squad?
So we don't have many champions, as we talked about it, but we have players who needs to be revived. I can think of Cambiasso. I can think of Cope Miners. I can think of Douglas Luiz. I don't know if they are staying. Well, I mean, Douglas Luiz is staying, but and yeah, come on, that Napoli squad is really bad. Like they sold Quaradona, and Neres was injured a lot, and they still gonna win it. Yeah, I think he can do magic here as well. I think the squad is, if we put aside the mental things, it's good enough. But mentally, I think he's the only one who can do a miracle with this squad right now. And any other option is weak at the coaching position. So yeah, Conte can do magic here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Conte is actually exactly what these players need. Um, these players are, I hate to say it, but they're all soft. They're all ballerinas. They all can't take criticism. They can't, take responsibility. Conte is somebody who's going to come into the locker room and it's going to be like a tornado. And I was talking about Fagioli to one of my other friends, and how Fiorentina are not going to redeem him because of his emotional whatever excuse they came up with. If that happens under Conte, that's going to get squashed really quickly. And I think that that's exactly what this team needs, because none of them they don't look like they have a plan. And even with Tudor, like you see more of a plan, but they don't look like they're playing for him. They look like they're just trying to get to the end of the season. When Conte comes in, he's going to be like, listen, you're either gonna play hard for me, or you're not playing at all. And I'm hoping that that's what gives the players a jolt for the next season, even if it is the same players. But we need a striker. If we don't have a striker, I don't know how much Conte can do. I'll end it there, because Vlahovic is not going to cut it next year.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gio?
Yeah, no. For I think if Conte comes in, it'll be a mentality shock for all the players. Let's see if we could get a lot of these players revived, like a Coop Miners, Douglas Luiz, right? If he's gonna stay, because I'm hearing there's a lot of reports of him leaving. But let's see if he does stay. I like to see him at least get another chance and see if Conte could get like a revival out of him. There's also other players as well. But of course, like Nino, like you just said, Conte needs a striker. And with Vlahovic, I don't think Vlahovic is going to cut it for him. So, yeah, no, he's definitely. I mean, listen, this squad has the quality. We have the talent. It's just that, like Norby, you even said it. We have no champions. This team is not, we don't have those champions as of yet. Of course, for next season you're gonna have a Bremer back, but will he be healthy? You're gonna have a couple other guys that are gonna be coming back from injury, Cabal. But I think that if Conte can come in, especially with that Napoli team that he's coaching at the moment, and if you look at all the players, the dramas they had, Kvara leaving, not having Osimhen, only having Lukaku there, it says a lot about what Conte is as a coach. I think he's a miracle worker in terms of rebuilding teams. He's done it so many times, even at Juve. When he was in his 3 years at Juve. So I feel like that if Conte comes, you're gonna see a lot of things. But one thing I've noticed, and we all know, he's only a one one domestic kind of guy. He only likes to go for just one tournament, just focus on it, and just leave like you're about. So I'm really optimistic to see if Juventus will like him just focusing on the league, because we already know if you go far in Champions League, more money you're gonna get. So, and Juventus are, we need financials and all that stuff. So, I think if Conte comes, I expect to see a revival in a lot of the players, and also, we're gonna get supposedly players in the Mercato too. So I'm really optimistic to see what's gonna happen for sure.
I mean, really quickly, because I know the moment the live ends, one of the first comments underneath this video will be your guys being disrespectful towards Tudor, talking about it, and I will answer to it now. Otherwise, I need to answer it for the 100th time already. He knew what he was stepping into. Like, he knew what he was stepping into. So I don't feel sorry for anyone. I don't feel sorry for anyone getting paid millions knowing what he was getting into. Like, it's as simple as that. When somebody else asked the question early on, do you think if it's Conte will be announced before the Club World Cup? Every time every time Giuntoli comes out and he says, we love Tudor, man, his mindset, his work ethic, and etc. fantastic. We will decide after the Club World Cup. That's just saying he's not the guy for us. Like, he's just not the guy for a very simple reason. What will the Club World Cup change to the situation? What will it change? Nobody was Does anyone expect us to win the Club World Cup? Again, another comment. You're a fake Juve fan because you don't think we're gonna win the Club World Cup. We are fighting for fourth place, and we are scared to beat Venezia. If you think we're gonna win the Club World Cup, it's not about being fan. It's being crazy. It's just being crazy. It's not realistic. On top of that, I doubt any club is taking. Have you seen the rules? You can take 2 squads with you, basically. Like, the rules are ridiculous. The transfer window before that is weird. The Bruyne telling City, I'm not doing this, by the way, because if something like nobody, like, it's not serious. Like I said, 10 years from now, I don't even think that thing exists anymore in this capacity. That's just me. So that being said, whatever Giuntoli says, he will say it again on Sunday before the game because he will be interviewed. We love Tudor, whatever. It's clear they're waiting for somebody else, and Tudor knows what it was from the get-go. The moment he signs a deal until the end of the season, and then we will see, what the situation is. It's as simple as that. So no, I don't feel sorry for him. I like Tudor, by the way, as a player, as a person. But, it's business. Like, you signed up for it. So, I mean, if you were okay with it, then I'm okay with it as well, and I'm going to talk about the situation. So, that's that. If we get Conte, we will also get Lukaku. No chance. The club is investing any money in him, excuse me.
No.
Bring Carlo on the show. I don't know who that is. Is it the YouTuber who speaks French? That's gonna be difficult because my French, even though I live in Belgium, is not all that good. I can understand it, but speaking it, Juve, Chelsea, Inter Napoli. He proved that he can change in the first season. Yeah, like, the proof is out there. I get it, but it's just the proof is also out there that this team is scary bad. On so many levels. Nobody cares about the Club World Cup. I think they're gonna scrap it after 2 years. I just have that feeling. The rules getting announced like months before the tournament, prize money month. It feels weird. It just feels weird. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's move on. We'll talk about Venezia still later on, but the title is De Bruyne, because the news was out there really quickly and was thrown away as well really quickly that we made contact, and within an hour the news was also it's not happening, because he's asking for 3 years, a 3-year deal, 10 million euros a season, probably a signing on bonus as well, and the club is not willing to do that, and before I let you guys speak really quickly, for me, I do think 10 million euros. Okay, for a free agent and experience and still, you know, I think a lot to offer and wants to win, it's not enough. His injury record is scary. It is scary. Our track record makes it even worse. So I can see why the club is like, we cannot really do that. What I won't accept if is the reason fans bring up saying, "Oh, but our midfield is what about Turam and Locatelli? You're gonna break that up really quickly." In 2006, we had Vidal, Marquisio, Pogba, Pirlo. They didn't play all four. If one was on the bench, I couldn't care who was on the bench. I'm not gonna lie. You know, if Vidal was bench, I'm like, look at that midfield. It is what it is. If Marquisio was bench, I'm like, yeah, look at that midfield. It is what it is. You know, that was the level we were at. If I need to sit here and be scared for certain players to lose their squad place week in week out because there's competition, then I need to support another club. That's just how I'm looking at it, and that's not for De Bruyne, just in general. If the reasoning is we need to fix other positions first, I'm okay with it. But my big disappointment is we need experience in this squad who have won and still want to win, know what it is to win, and are real. Like De Bruyne can come across like a very petty guy because he wants to win at all costs. I don't see that in the team. That was my reasoning behind, give it a shot. That's how I look at it. But Norbert, what do you think? Because it looks like he's on his way to Napoli. The Chicago Fire thing, I don't think that's real at the moment, at the time. So it looks like he's off to Napoli. But do you think you do you think the club should have jumped on it, even for 10 million for 3 years or 2+1, whatever?
So Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder who ever played in the Premier League, period. He's probably top 10 ever in the world ish, 15 maybe, but we need a guy like him. We need a winner, and he's a winner. And injury, I don't know, but he's so good, man. 10 million, okay, whatever, but the quality he would bring is insane. And I'm sorry, there is no way that he would ever go to Napoli. I just can't believe that.
Really? Because
Yeah,
Belgium
Napoli.
reports are like good reports, like actually,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know.
they
It's
are
still
dead on, like that it's gonna
crazy.
happen. It's about details right now.
I just really can't see it. But yeah, I think whatever the cost, 3 years might be too much in my book, but still, I think the positives are outweigh the negatives for sure. And he's a crazy good midfielder. And we were saying like Kroos back in the day, a few years ago, like 2 years ago, when his contract was up with Madrid, that Kroos would be good. And De Bruyne is just better than Kroos. So yeah, it's a bummer if he actually goes to Napoli. And we just and the reason is because we didn't want him. That's crazy. So yeah, I would really love him at Juve.
Yeah, completely second that. You need experience. And if you're offloading Duzon, you're freeing up his 10 million a year right there. You know what I mean? It's not like you're paying an extra 10 million because Duzon's contract is outrageous. So that's it's like a Pirlo-esque signing. You know what I mean? End of the career, they can get relit at a new club. Granted, Pirlo was a little bit younger, I think, but um, another person on the radar is Modric, right? You're looking at Modric coming off of Real Madrid. That's another thing that I think Juventus should jump on because Modric is a serial winner. You know what I mean? Like he's been there internationally. He's played with the best, so he could also bring that. There's not many players leaving on free transfers that are at the caliber of
Yeah,
KDB and Modric. You know what I mean? So If it's me, I would jump. I would match, even give him a little bit more than what Napoli would. And but you have to think about it. Do they want to play Champions League? Because that's not guaranteed for us right now. So that's another thing we have to look at and kind of weigh. Like Napoli's guaranteed to play Champions League next season.
Yeah.
So we have to. It's either we wait and see, or Napoli's giving him the money, and he's just like, I'm not taking the risk, and not getting this money. So
Yeah, man. No, I agree 100%. I think that I'm actually surprised myself with Juventus for not really, pushing and going after KDB because he's not just a free agent, but I'm like he's a winner. He's like name me one player, you know, in Juventus that could put up the same type of creative qualities like KDB. I don't see any of them at the moment. What maybe Yildiz, but like seriously, not on the level of KDB, man. And he's one of the best players I've ever seen, especially in the Prem. Um, so I'm really surprised on Juventus in terms of that. He could bring that experience. He could bring that winning experience. I mean, winning the Premier League titles, he's won a bunch. He won the Champions League before. With that Super City team. And I think he could bring some type of new enthusiasm to the team. And it really sucks that Juventus isn't pushing to go after him. But it just shows how Juventus is right now. The management, where we're focusing on the youth, this and that, getting rid of our leaders in the locker room, So I think the club is making lots of, and in my opinion, I think it's going to be a mistake if you don't go after experience, man. You know, because if we're going to get this so-called Conte, he's going to want to put experienced players as well. So um, I think with KDB coming, that would be, I think it would solve a lot of our problems in the midfield and also creatively from the transition because we've been always having a problem from going from the defensive transition to the offensive. So it's always been a problem for Juve in terms of that. So I think, and yes, the injuries, it happens to every player. I mean, there was no injury record on Douglas Luiz. All of a sudden, he comes to Juve injured. So at this point with the injuries, I don't understand anymore. I mean, it's just, it's like it's whatever. It's like a curse for Juventus when it comes to injuries. But yeah, listen, 10 million. I think Juventus still could have gone with a bargain. And in the 3 years, I think 3 years was a little bit too much. It should have been maybe like 2 at least, maybe 2. That's it. But yeah, no, for sure. I think KDB could have made a big difference if he comes to you. He could make a big difference, but I don't see it happening at the moment.
yeah. Like before we jump on, I just wanted to mention one more thing. Like this is all on Giuntoli, right? Like, and the board. They are seeing these things happen, and they're not doing anything. And I know that it's hard to do these things when you don't know who the coach is. Which I mean, I guess we can all kind of figure out. Okay, if you have an agreement with Conte, even if you haven't signed him, he can tell you who he wants and who he doesn't want, and you can start trying to negotiate and piece things together. But this is the same thing that happened last summer. We didn't get a striker, so we were stuck with Duzan until we got Colomwani. When Bremer went down, we didn't have a backup defender, so then we signed Lloyd Kelly. The cycle is kind of just continuously happening, and that's where I think most Juve fans are looking at Giuntoli, and they're just like, we can't do this anymore with this guy.
Exactly, man. With I think, but also even with Giuntoli, it's like one news after the other. Is he going to be staying or is he going to be leaving? That's why whenever Giuntoli goes in front of the microphone, I don't really pay attention that much to what he's saying because it's like you might be out the door too. You know what I mean? Like he was saying about Tudor, coaching for the Club World Cup. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like the percentage is 1%. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's staying. It's like okay, um, like seriously, we need like an answer. And of course, in a few, probably in a week or so, maybe even before, we're gonna get answers because the little window is opening for the Club World Cup. So let's see. Especially since the final day for the Scudetto deciders tomorrow. We're gonna see what has gonna happen with Conte. So, but yeah, no, I mean, this is all Giuntoli's mess. You know, there's some things that I could credit, for him that he's done. Balance the books. Nina, we discussed this many times. Norby, we discussed this as well. The books, he's done a great job. But in terms of also getting specific players, I think that he's only gotten like what you could say Turam, right? Maybe Kalulu wasn't a bad signing. Cabal before he got injured wasn't a bad signing. Um, but then you look at the rest of them, it's like they're almost all flops. It's like
Let me
you
let
know,
me let me play devil's advocate right here because
yeah.
I agree. Like Turam, it worked out, but the way Cope Miners is flopping, the way Douglas Luiz is flopping, is that really like
Yeah.
the prize is on Juntoli probably, and like
Mhm.
people throw the prize out there. I'm not one of those persons. People watch a channel, no, like I would not the prize. That's Juntoli. I get it, but is it Juntoli's fault that a player like Colt Miners has been that this poor this season? A player like Douglas Luiz has been that poor this season. Maybe Conceição, you might say, hey, that's who he is, but the drop off is so insane that I cannot really put that like performances. The performances I cannot put on Giuntoli. The fees he
No,
paid, I can't. I can't. So what is it like? Are these players just this bad? Excuse me. Did we get scammed? I don't believe so. I didn't think we get scam. Yeah, money wise, but like the talent is there. Like Douglas Luiz is not a scrub. Coldmine is not a scrub. They look like scrubs out there. But is that on Juntili? Like I'm not trying to defend him here. I'm just trying to be balanced because I don't think he's done a fantastic job, by the way. But
Yeah.
the performances has been so poor. Where I'm like, who do I need to blame, really?
I think it's both if you think about the players and Juntli. Um, because you could blame Juntli on the price, right? And then you could also blame the players' performance because they weren't doing that when they were with their previous clubs. Like I was watching a little bit of some previous highlights of Douglas Luiz when he was at Aston Villa. Completely different player. He showed there's like you see those little glimpses of what a Coop Myers can be at Juve, what a Douglas Luiz could be at Juve. You could see that there's little glimpses that they have talent. They do have the talent, but then what I'm hearing also from what Douglas Luiz said in that little note that he said or whatever on Instagram saying about I've been healthy this and that, but I never got the chance to have that to really show my full potential that I could have at Juve. So I'm also wondering, was it also the coach's fault for not giving them chances? I mean, with Coop Miners, no. I think Coop Miners is a different story. But for Douglas Luiz, I mean, if he's saying that he's been healthy for months, even when Motta was in charge, then of course I'm going to have to blame the previous coaches that are even the current coach right now too, not giving them the chances. Because in order for a Douglas Luiz to be not a flop, you got to give him a chance to. You got to let him play. You got to let him play. So I think it's a little bit both.
Yeah. For me, I truly believe that it's Motta with the Cope Miners, but I think it's just another case of he's a system player, and he fit like a glove in Atalanta, and now he's out of that system, and now he's bad. And we saw this before with other Atalanta players as well. So yeah, I changed my mind on that, and I don't know what needs to happen for him to get better. Maybe it's not even possible. And yeah, Douglas Luiz is I don't know what went down with Motta, and now I think we can all agree that it was 100% Giuntoli signing, and Motta had nothing to do with it.
Yep.
He saw it as an opportunity or something, and I don't know. He asked Motta, and Motta said, "I guess I don't know. I take whatever." But not like he asked him for real. And yeah, But yeah, it's sad, man. We spent so much money on these two players, and only if,
Yeah.
if they would have played like how they should have done. Yeah, it is what it is.
That's the thing is like it's not. I wouldn't sit here and say all of it's on Giuntoli. And I've said this before. You can't predict, like you said, Ali. You can't predict Colt Miners and Douglas Luiz flopping the way that they did. Um, so like, I'm not sitting here and saying it's his fault for signing them because anybody with the right mind would have signed them. But his lack of planning in the winter and the summer and
Yeah.
that is what I think falls on him, and that is the reason our season went to full complete crap. Because Douglas Luiz and Colt Miners not working out is not the reason we didn't have a good season. You know what I mean? They were poor, but there's other reasons also why the season went bad, and that's where I look at Giuntoli and I'm like, okay, you have absolutely zero planning skills. You might be able to scout. You might be able to get players like Thuram, Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, but you have zero planning skills for if something goes south. And that's what I've seen from him this season. That's what's making me question him. I have no doubt in his scouting ability because he's proved it. You know what I mean? He's proved it again this season, especially with like, Thuram, Alberto Costa even is playing well recently. So that's I'm not saying it's his fault for signing them because like you said nobody can predict that, but it's the planning aspect of it that makes me not I don't hate him, but it just makes me a little bit of annoyed, you know what I mean? Because we have the talent and we have the finances to build a good team, but we're just running in a circle here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've said, was it last summer? I said I give Giuntoli 2 summers, because I need to see 2 summers, and I reached a point where I'm like, I cannot trust you with another summer. He's gonna get another summer, by the way. Like, I don't see how he's getting sacked and a new guy is coming
Yeah,
in,
it's
right?
way
Like,
too
who
late.
who is doing the
Yeah.
contract talks right now? Like, it's not really adding up all. So he's gonna get that second summer, but I cannot trust him anymore, And I know it's links right now. It's only links. I get it, do not panic. But when I wake up and I read certain things, I'm like, first I'm like, why am I waking up anymore? Like, I don't want to wake up anymore to this news. Because the first thing I do in the morning is I open the newspapers. I open them all online, obviously. I have them all online. So I just, before I leave for work, I just, scroll through them really quickly and I scan them. And throughout the day, I read the articles more in depth. And the more I do that, the more I get depressed. Like, the more I'm like, what is this? Like, it's not what we need. When I see certain things and
Yeah.
there's a trend, like, it's not about believing every single rumor. It's just a trend of the rumors. So I'm like, probably 50% is BS. But even if the other 50% is real, it's not good. Like, it's actually not good. That is my biggest fear right now when it comes to Giuntoli, that whatever he's gonna do, I cannot. If I need to wake up every morning and I need to see us getting linked with Højlund,
I was just gonna say that.
like I said, I don't want to wake up anymore.
Exactly.
I don't want to wake up
Exactly.
anymore. Which makes it worse is that there's still a section of the fan base who defend the club no matter what. And like, but he scored 12 goals or 9 goals for Atalanta. I think nobody remembers a single goal he scored for Atalanta. Let's be serious. Nobody Man U were buying him. I think the entire Serie A community was like, "What? Like, what is happening over here?" Then he goes to Man U, and man, if you think Vlahovic is bad in the build-up play, he's next level. Like, he is. I'm not gonna lie. I think I could have done a better job out there. Like, just hold up the ball once, and you already, did a better job. It's horrible, And to see those links, it makes me bad. Like, it makes me hope Vlahovic stays and we pay him another 12 million euros a season rather than spend 50 or 40 million on Højlund.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get a new summer, but I cannot trust him right now. I just can't. It's impossible. I will question everything he does. Even if he signs a player I like, I'm like, what's the flip side of it? Like, something bad is around the corner. When I see links with like even decent players. So I'm like, I like that. I'm like, probably gonna wait until tomorrow because something will come out where I'm like, okay, that's why, that's why. So I don't know, and it's also difficult to take everything serious or not serious because I don't know who the coach is going to be dead on, like who it's gonna be. I think at that
Yep.
point we can take certain things more seriously, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
Let me read out a few chats before we go to Venezia. And Tarek, I've not missed your comment. I will read it out in a sec. Somebody asked, do you think KDB still has it, in Serie A? 100%. Even Modric, who, by the way, is my topic for the video tomorrow. I think like in
I hope
Serie
so,
A,
man.
100% in Serie A. Europe, but again, we talked
Amen.
about it. It's about Serie A, like getting back up there. Let me see. What do you think about Alberto Costa? I hope we don't loan him out. I'm just gonna say pump the brakes, because it's still fresh, and we've done it in the past where it's like, oh my god, it's raw, it's very good, and it's like, ooh, what the hell was that, So I cannot form an opinion on him. Like what I can say is, it's weird that he was benched for that long. Just getting more minutes.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Keep him, loan him out, probably keep him, I guess. But I've not seen enough to say, oh, you cannot sell him, you cannot loan him out. That's just me. I've not seen enough to make that statement right now. So let's see, I guess. The sample size for Roberto Costa is small. He looks like he's getting better, but too early to tell. Yeah, I agree with that. If we want to win the Scudetto, we need to win every game against the bottom 15. Just look at this year. If we won against Parma, Empoli, Cagliari, Venezia, we will be having a different conversation. Yeah, but going back to what I said earlier in the show, we're in this because, well, we're that poor, I guess. We're that poor. That's what it is. You might say, oh yes, bring him in, but we're not getting paid to make those decisions. Yeah, I mean, but I get it. At the end of the day, they need to make the decision, but we're still fans and we have an opinion as well. Okay, let's move on to Venezia for the final part of the show because it's the biggest game. I cannot believe I'm saying this. It's the biggest game of the season.
I can't even believe myself.
I can. I was thinking about it also today. I was out for a run and I was like, I was thinking about the Venezia Stadium, our biggest game in a Sunday League stadium. Like, I'm sorry, it's horrible. The pitch
On the
is
water.
horrible. Everything, like that pitch, it feels like a Sunday League. Like everything about it, I'm like, how has it come to this? But it is. We play Sunday night. Roma play Torino. Lazio play Lecce at home, and Roma play Torino away from home. So that's a given for Roma. There's like Torino is a team. They're in Serie A every season, but nobody actually knows why. Like they're just in it. That's one of those. Them and Udinese. Only Udinese were in relegation side in a relegation battle last season. But usually those teams, they're in it just to be in it. Like they do absolutely nothing. So that's a given. And obviously Lazio is gonna beat Lecce. Yeah, Lecce, still need that one. But Venezia know that Lazio play Lecce. If they win and Lazio do what they have to do, they're in it. They're in it. Even though Empoli play Verona like last season when Empoli stayed up with that Nian goal, I think it was last minute.
Yeah.
So that's kind of history repeating itself. But Venezia know. Okay, for Venezia it's very simple. They need to win. Like they cannot speculate, whatever. They just need to win and then hope somebody else does a job. For us, a point could be enough, but the mindset should be we need to win as well. That like you need to win, you're in it. It's as simple as that. You don't win, you're out of it. You're just out. It's done. If you don't win, you're out of it. Because Lazio and Roma are gonna win their games. I'm 100% convinced about that. Norbert, maybe you know that. When was the last time we won 2 games in a row?
Wow.
Shouldn't be hard actually,
No,
but it's probably hard. Remember,
it is.
you know how many?
First two games of Tudor,
No,
maybe.
no,
No,
I don't
no,
think so.
no.
no. We won 2 games with Tudor out of the 5, and not. I
You
don't
know
know.
how many?
Wait,
You have it?
no. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat.
Because that should be
Oh my
coming.
god.
It's
Is
probably
it the
have-
multi era? We're in the multi era now.
Yes, yes, yes. Como and Inter.
Oh my god. That's what's
Oh
that,
my
February?
gosh!
Wow.
March?
Yes,
It's February. Right?
February 16th.
Wow, since Motta.
That's
I'm lying.
I didn't
I'm
even
lying.
know
Wait, I'm lying.
Wait.
There's a Verona Cagliari, but there's an Empoli. You know, the cup.
yeah, that doesn't count. Like it's just
Oh,
like
it don't
every
count.
competition. Like just 2 in a row, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's that long. You know how many away games Tudor has won since he joined?
2
Away games?
2 out of 5. 2.
No, away games.
No, we didn't win. We didn't win an away
Okay.
game yet.
You know how many points out of 29 Venezia won at home? Out of their 29 points.
2
At home. How many points did they win at home? They have 29 points. How many points out of those 29?
20.
Yeah, 20. That's actually correct. So
Okay, we're
Wow.
cooked.
that like
We cooked, bro.
that's the reality of it. Like that's actually the reality of the situation. So my next question is very simple, Norbert. How confident are you
Oh my
that
God.
we are going there? This team is ready the entire week, mentally prepped to beat relegation side Venezia away from home to scrape top 4.
Okay, so I have 2 arguments here. I'm not confident at all, and I don't think anyone should be confident. But I trust Turam and Yildiz, and that's all I have. You know, and also Venezia needs to win. So I can see a world when it's 0-0 until like the 80th minute, and Venezia will attack with 10 men, and we will score from the counter. But I think at the beginning of the game we will have the ball and we try to attack, and let's see if we manage to score out of pure quality of. I'm gonna say Yildiz or Turam. I don't see anyone else out there. And yeah, it's going to be hard. I think we will win it, but I'm not confident at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're finally going to have our 2 best players on the pitch together again for the first game in like what is it, 5 or no, probably 4. I don't even remember the last time we saw Yildiz in Tehran, but I think we played a solid game the last game. You know what I mean? Like we kept the press the whole time. We didn't let them look dangerous. So I think if we can keep that press on Venezia, we'll do fine. But the second that Venezia starts throwing heads forward and we get trapped in our own box, then it's gonna end bad. So we can't let them get forward. That's the thing. We have to keep them in on their heels in their own box, and we'll be fine. But I don't know. We're getting players back also. So
Yep.
you know, I think Savona's coming back.
Gatti, I
Kalulu,
think, right?
Gatti should be
think Gatti.
back. We got
I don't know if it's
Cambiasso
good or bad.
I don't even know at this point, man.
You know, so it's if Venezia want to win the game, I think that they can win the game.
That
100%.
they have
Like
no
if they
other
fully
choice.
want it more than us, then they can. But
Yeah.
if we want the game, I think we will take the game. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is
So
tough.
sad.
Yeah, this is tough because I'm not confident at all. I'm being so honest, guys. I am not confident at all with this Juventus. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say that we're going to try to play our way, try to, put some pressure onto them, try to get the first goal, try to score. But I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling for against Venezia, which I hope we end up winning. But, it's just time and again. Like, we haven't won 2 games in a row since Mota, and that's scary. That is really scary when this is the last game of the season and where this is basically going to affect everything for next season and the years to come. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely optimistic to see what's going to happen. Of course, the quality, Norby, like you said, I'm probably just going to rely on Yildiz and Turam. Honestly, now, guys, like those are the only 2 players I can really trust in this team, and that says a lot. It says a lot. So, of course, we're going to be counting on them, but at the same time, if Venezia start, playing their way, especially since they're going to be at home as well, and they're going to fight to the last second of the game because for them to stay up in Serie A is going to be huge for them. So we need to play our game. We need to be focused because Juventus. When do we ever see a Juventus really fully focused? So yeah, I'm just going to be positive, and I'm going to say that Juventus will get over the line, but watch out because if we don't end up scoring the first goal like before halftime, I would say we are so cooked. It's like we're cooked,
But
man.
listen, even if we are leading, we are cooked because how many points we dropped? 25 at this point?
Yeah, no. I mean,
leading?
listen, if in the first half, we have to score at least 2.
No,
That's
we
what I'm
need
saying. 2 or 3.
This needs to be.
I mean,
this needs to be
this
a
needs to be a
4-0
shutout.
game. Like,
Listen, I want to
to
be confident like
guarantee
that. I want to be confident like that, but the thing is, it's like I just don't see it with this team. Like, when was the last time we actually did that? What was it? 4-0. When was the 4-0 that we actually had? Against
Mota.
what? Coyote? Against
Yeah,
Coyote,
Mota.
right? Oh my gosh. Like, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to see.
That's the only way I'll be confident is if we're up like 3-0. I swear.
Yeah, that's
the only way I'll be confident.
I mean, if you cannot be confident being up 3-0, then I mean, what are we doing, right?
But under the you're right. Like under the Allegri era, I was confident up 2-0. You know what I mean?
Man, even 1-0. Like in
even
our
1-0.
heydays, I was
Even
like,
1-0 at this
I'm
point.
good. Like Allegri got us at that point, but now it's like I've seen us concede and concede and concede.
4-1 against Empoli in February 2nd. That was the last game we actually scored.
And that was 2 games in the 90 plus minutes. 2 goals, excuse me. Vlahovic 90 and Concesawa 95 or something as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, Spiro's saying, never mind, the Conference League anthem is fire. It's not. Europa League one is fire. Not gonna lie, but the Conference League, I mean, they just, I don't know. They just got something out of from YouTube or something. It's not good. But my hope is, okay, my fear is that we concede from a set piece. That's my fear early on. Venezia are gonna, like, every team attacks us. Nobody's scared of us. So that's a default. Venezia need to win. They cannot go into the game thinking, hey, they can go into the game thinking if we score a minute 90, it's still okay. But it's too much of a risk for them to do, I think. They have nothing to, okay, they have Serie A to lose, but it's not in their own hands. So they have basically nothing to lose. They need to win and then hope, Lazio do their thing and whatever, They just need to hope. For us, we need to win. We don't need to look at they need to look at other teams. We just need to win and you're in. It's done. Like, that's the only thing you need to do. But everything is against, stat-wise, everything. Like, squad-wise, it shouldn't be against us. Club-wise, whatever. But stats-wise, it's all against us. The points drop from winning position, so maybe we should be going behind, and make up for it. But, I mean, we need an early goal. We need a very early goal, to break Venezia completely down, to tell Venezia, well, this is it, throw everything out us right now and we're going to see out this game, But I made a video on I think Monday about Yildiz, and that's still my point. He's going to need to drag us into it, It's as simple as that. It's gonna need to come from him, and it's not about getting the goals, not even getting the assist, but carry the team up. Like it's all on him right now. Is it fair? Yeah, it's fair. I think it's fair. You know, he wears the number 10. He is the hope of this club, basically. So I think it's fair. I think he will. I think he embraces this. I don't think he's scared of that. You know, I don't think it's too much pressure. And I think if we get it, it's gonna be because of him. You know, because we won last week because of him. At the end of the day, it was because of him. You know, that final that assist to Vlahovic. I've seen Conceição 5 minutes before running into a player when he could have laid it off. You know, so I can. And when I look at the squad, I'm like, if we are in at the edge of the box, the guy who's gonna make the right decision in the right moment, it's gonna be you. It needs to be you. I cannot trust anyone else in this squad right now. I've seen the reports today that Vlahovic is gonna start the game. You know,
I don't care.
he's ready enough to start that game. So, I mean, he scored last week. His final game for the club. Will he show out? I mean, it would be a miracle based on this season. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a coin flip.
It is a coin flip. Like he can have a game like he had against Lecce. Remember, you know, last when he scored
Coin
out of the
flip would be
blue.
better luck.
I mean, it's actually sad that we are scared to go to Venezia away from
It's
home.
so sad, man.
It's
insane.
really sad. Like it's painful. Like I'm not gonna. It's painful. It's like it's a sad. Like it's the lowest of low. Because remember when Pirlo and we needed to beat Bologna, but at the same time was like, yeah, Napoli are gonna beat Verona, and then Verona popped up, you know. But that was different. You know, that was different. We were not in control. And actually going to the Bologna game, I was like, we're going to beat Bologna, but we messed up. You know, Napoli are going to beat Verona. That was the feeling I had at the time. Like, we're going to beat Bologna. And we I don't know, was it 3-1 at the end? Like, it was done. It was done in the first half. I think it was 2-0 or 3-0. If wasn't that Chiesa or Rabiot, Chiesa, and Morata, whatever. You know, the game was played really, really quickly. It was done and dusted. So that needs to be the blueprint for Sunday. You know, my question is: are these players going to be ready? And the proof is they're not going to be ready. Like the evidence, excuse me, is they're not going to be ready. We haven't won 2 in a row since February. I think Man U did worse because they haven't won 2 in a row all season. You know, that's worse.
Amorim is doing worse than Gary Neville at Valencia, by the way.
Yeah, Amorim got 9 points since he got a point in the Premier League. That's crazy.
That's not Amorim's fault. That's Man United's been through so many coaches in the last year. It's not, dude. That's not.
Look at all the players. Look at all the players that they have. They're going to show you.
No hate to Harry Maguire, but when Harry Maguire is your starting center back, and then and Onana's in the goal, you're bound to. Like it's not a recipe for success.
You see, we find something that worse than us. That's
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Man, but yeah, I mean, am I stressful? I'm not really stressful, to be honest, because like I said earlier on in my show, if we finish 5th or 6th, it's what we deserve. It's not the stress; it's the frustration afterwards I will have, rather than the stress. I'm not going into the game stressed, you know, because like I said, if we miss out, we deserve to miss out. It's painful, it's sad, and I will be absolutely fuming, but I will accept it, quote unquote. I will not accept it because that's not the standard of the club, but I will accept it in the mindset of, yeah, that's what we deserve. You know, that's who we are, and I will put blame on everybody who needs to be blamed. But at the end, that's that. You know, like somebody said earlier on, you know, we threw that game away to Bologna. We threw that away. I cannot believe we messed that one up. We threw that
Lazio as well.
Lazio. Yeah. I mean, Jesus. I mean, how are you doing that? You know, Roma, when we got a point and everybody was happy, and I was like, to not be happy, we're competing with Roma. It's not a good result. We should be putting them away, and we didn't. You know, the goals, the type of goals we concede, losing to Parma. Yep. I mean, I want to hear the person who's confident going to Venezia. I actually want to meet that person.
Yeah.
And I've not met that person so far. Not online, not in my personal life, and I have I don't know how many. I know over 50 Juve fans over here in this city. Like it's ridiculous. Not one person I know who supports Juve over here is like confident we're beating Venezia. Not
Yeah.
one. Not even the most optimistic one who. And I have a Juve, a good friend who supports Juve. He thinks we're gonna win the Champions League and the title every single season at the start of the season. Like he's that type.
That'll
No
be a
matter,
dream.
no
I
matter
love his
what.
optimism. I
Yeah,
love
Can I
because
meet this guy?
he's like a new season. It's that's the standard. I'm like, not even like the club broke that guy. He's like, yeah, we're not winning against Venezia. I couldn't believe when he said that. I almost asked if he's okay. Like really okay, because that's not him. But that's the situation right now. Like let me, people in the chat, how confident are you that we're gonna beat Venezia,
Yeah.
away from home? Because I mean, the pitch, the way Di Francesco plays, the latest results of Venezia, our latest results, the way we play, the the fact that we cannot deal with pressure, obviously, like because throwing away so many points, I think, in my opinion, has to do with pressure as well. Late on in the game, you throw that away because a lot of those things came late. We threw the game like Fiorentina late. Lazio
And
late. Ah.
yeah. And our players decided to start playing like UFC 25 for some reason on the
Imagine
field
that
the
happening
last
on
two
Sunday.
games. So it's like the Lazio game for me was Tudor's fault, in my opinion,
I agree 100%.
because he made the most
Yeah.
insane substitutions
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
That one was on him. The other ones you can't really. It's like
And
not all.
you know what? I know a certain Juve account. It's Spanish language, and for like 4 or 5 days after the Lazio game, they were showing all kind of VAR pictures and all kind of tried to prove that it wasn't a red card. And oh my god, like
It
let
was a
it
red
go.
card. Like the picture was awful. It's a red card. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what to. And even with the red card, you can say, oh, it's not on Tudor that we dropped the point, but we took it so deep, and then the subs were made. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was atrocious.
they were taking
Yeah.
shots from far off. I'm like, they're not gonna score like this, But then you invited even more crosses. I'm like, we're terrible at it. That's my fear for Sunday: a
Yeah.
corner kick, a free kick.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. Conceding early on,
God is
and then
our
it's fine.
savior. Don't worry.
It's so funny. It's so funny because McKennie is literally crawling to get to the other side of the field because he can't
Yeah.
walk, and
Can't walk.
you're leaving him to defend the side that the corner scored on with an injured Gatti. Like what in
Yep.
what realm does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
The way
Yeah,
when
it
he was
doesn't make
making
any
those
sense.
subs, I was sitting there, I was like, like what, why, what's the plan?
I didn't
And-
understand what's happening.
I didn't
you just
understand.
wait. It was a waste. It was a waste. You needed fresh legs, and you took the fresh legs you just put on off in 10 minutes.
You know what the worst part of is? And maybe
It's-
I don't know. He's honest, Tudor, but he saw it ended poorly, and he still decided to say what he said post game. But it's
Yeah.
like you could have lied. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
it didn't work. And
There
then he
you
says,
go.
"I will do the same thing over again." I'm like, why?
Yeah,
It didn't
we're,
work. Like he said,
And that's why he will not be a Juventus coach next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
when he said
And we're
Gatti,
back.
Gatti couldn't walk, but he still, grit his teeth. I'm like, he didn't need to
Yeah.
grit anything.
Yeah.
No teeth, no anything. You shouldn't be playing if he cannot play. He shouldn't
That's
be.
why I don't get it. I don't get it with these coaches. It's not just with Tude. I mean, look what happened with Motta. Oh, Coop Miners with the flu.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
was sick every week.
Like seriously, like come on, man. Like if the guy is not fit to play, if he's not ready to play, don't let him play. Like
Trust
it
the
doesn't
youth.
make it like seriously. You know what I mean? You have Mbangula, which we haven't used in such a long time. We have players. Let them play. You know what I mean? Douglas Luiz, not injured. Let him play. You need these guys to play. Like seriously, you have talent. You're just not. We're this Juventus is just not using it right.
I think it is because like every coach has a certain group they trust, and when things get tough, they will just go with those players no matter what.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
no matter what it is. If fans think he's poor and he's actually poor, they just trust him for some weird reasons, and they will just go for it because they think, you know, it's gonna save me. But most of the time, like 9 out of 10 times, it's gonna cost you the job. You know, this situation is a bit different, but in a normal situation, like a coach does that when things are going really bad, you know, and other players are like, nah. And he's just going with the guys who just listen to him, and even playing poorly, they will do so. So, I mean, let's see what he's going to say tomorrow. Maybe he's going to say, hey, it's not the key game tomorrow, because he said that pre-Lazio, it's not a key game. I'm like, it is. It really is. But okay.
There is no pressure.
If
If he says that, I'm done. I don't know if I can watch this game if he says there is no pressure or whatever.
I actually,
Champions League is not important, guys. You forgot.
Yeah.
I actually would have paid money to see what took place behind closed doors, you know, this week, how they prep, you know. Am I mistaken, or did the account did they tweet out a good morning video this week? I've not seen it. Usually they do, you know, the video that pisses me off. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are you guys smiling? Like, we're poor. If they didn't do that this week, maybe they're taking it seriously. Maybe even they know, like, yeah, this is not the week to do this. You know, I
But
guess.
thankfully, the Danilo Unity posts are gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Unity and
they posted some yesterday. The full video I saw, but not the clip of, I don't know, players walking by making gang signs and whatever. You know, I'm like, what? Like, it's just weird, you know. But I mean, yeah. Conclusion: nobody's confident. I like absolutely nobody. I think nobody I know is confident. But it is what it is. You know, it's very simple. You need to win. That's it. You know, win 2 games in a row for the first time since February, apparently. And you're in, you know, and a lot of these players are out. That's the flip side, which is good, I guess. But that's what's on the line on Sunday, and yeah, I mean, hopefully we get it done. Not to be happy or excited, whatever, just to be like, few. Remember when Allegri had Twitter and he tweeted out few? I don't know which moment that was. Like we won a game that, you know, something like, we won a crazy game and he tweeted out few. We got away with it. That's how I will feel on Sunday if we get it. If we don't get it, it's gonna be long. It's gonna be very long for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, do I need to ask score predictions?
no.
Does anyone know? No.
No way, no way.
Can we reverse jinx it? Like,
I mean, I think the reverse jinx you're trying to do is probably the thing you actually believe is going to happen. If you say like 2 Venezia,
1-0.
Probably.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say 1-0, and in the scenario
that's fair.
I painted that I don't know, nothing will happen, and then they start attacking because they are desperate, and then we score from the counter.
Yeah, I agree with Norby on that. I think it's going to be a counterattack goal.
Yep.
So we're gonna leave it late, basically. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be a shit show. Yeah.
Yep.
So we need to win, must win, but we're gonna leave it late.
Yeah,
Yep.
but you know these
That-
guys, they
you know,
can't. They
it's-
just can't win.
Since the Allegri era, my blood pressure has never been the same. You score in the second minute, defend for 87, or you don't score until the 90th minute and then you score. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Will be a good time to score from a corner kick. Maybe that's what they did
Yes.
a week.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
somebody,
Oh my God. Maybe they're
finally, after attempt number 1,000, I don't know how many attempts we have. Finally, it finds the head of, I don't know, Kelly. You know, of all people, please Kelly show up.
Yeah, Kelly.
I don't know if
That'll
he's
be
good
worth the
with
15
headers.
million right there.
There you go.
Yes.
Or the 50
Yeah, come
that
on.
we
If we make the Champions League with a Kelly goal, then yeah.
Oh, that would be perfect.
I saw Newcastle are looking for a center back, so maybe, you know,
Yes.
who knows?
Yeah.
They would take him back for
Yeah, take him back. That's
for
it.
free.
that's
I don't
it.
know. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up, people, because I need to wake up in about 5 hours and a half. So that's that as well. like the video if you haven't liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Nino's channel. I'll try to put it in immediately. I will try to put it in right now in the pin in the
Nino,
description.
Gio,
Excuse
all
me.
these channels.
Yeah, Gio is a Juve corner cast. People know that, So that's very easy to find as well. And I will pin Nino's channel, or I'll put it in the description
Thank you.
in a sec. Afterwards, I'll put it in. But that's Dr.
Yeah, I
XP
just typed
Football.
it
You need to change it. You need to
There you
change
go.
it.
Maybe I'll take the football out of the end.
Yeah, I mean, but more shows will come. Separate shows. Here are the names, but I will put them in the description afterwards. But more shows are coming. On different channels, different type of shows. But that's for the following weeks, months. Now it's about surviving Venezia away. But yeah, people, thanks for watching. Norbert, Nino, Gio, thanks for joining and
Yep.
sharing the, I don't know, the fear. I will call it fear right now.
Last week.
The last week of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, people, that's it.